Good morning, everyone. We are live and in full effect. Happy Wednesday to you guys. Let me bring the lady of the hour on, JCG.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to put my eyes on. We've had our coffee.
Yes, we've had our coffee. Sorry about that, guys. You know, we'd be ready from the grip, but a couple of things I have to do to get the party started. Let me stop this music. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Coffee and Chat. We're not doing the end anymore. Coffee Chat with Sam G and JCG. Janet, you say your whole name, huh?
My whole name.
Your whole government name. I want some music in the background, so let me do the platform music. How about that? Forget which one it was. There we go. Turn it down a little bit. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and make sure. Please let us know that you can hear us okay. We pretty much got our technology down, but sometimes things happen, right? Let us know that you can hear us and see us. Go ahead and share the link. We're going to do what we always do at this time, talk about some cool topics. Keep it organic. The link has been posted. If someone wants to pop in and join the conversation, you're welcome to do that. We only had that happen once, by the way. But let me start off with a couple of announcements. How about that? Thanks, Rashad. You have to put Rashad on the payroll here pretty soon. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, guys. Back to Virtual Happy Hour, and I just gave it a name, SJG, Sam and Janet's Virtual Happy Hour. We're going to be doing this every Friday, guys. What I'm going to attempt to do this Friday is use the current room, the Facebook room that we set up. So here's what's going to happen, I believe. I think I'll be able to blast out the link and share it once we are live. But if you want in on the Friday Virtual Happy Hour, let me know so I can invite you. I will invite some people. Again, guys, it's legit. It's not a scam. We had some people thinking it was a scam. We got some feedback on that, or someone was trying to scam them or whatever. Interesting. A lot of people just don't know about all the features that Facebook offers. Virtual Happy Hour is going to be live every Friday at 7 p.m. And we are in a private room, so it is not on live. I'm glad we did it private, Janet.
Yes, because we are definitely having grown folks conversations up in there. And, it ain't for everybody. One of our participants even said that, they were going to try to clean up their language because so they wouldn't embarrass me. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, just do you. Be you.
Do you and be you. This is why we love you.
Yeah, I know, right?
No judgment zone whatsoever.
Nope. So I like the fact that it is in that private setting. Also, I'm not sure if Janet's going to join me on this one, but as promised, every Monday at 7 p.m., going to be doing my cash flow chat, guys. This is where I'm going to be showing you guys how you can get your money going, working for you and everything, okay? I'm going to be talking about at least one of the strategies that we're using. And some of them are going to be new, some are, we're already doing. And I'm going to be showing you most of them, I think I can show you the actual accounts that I've set up for us. I just did one yesterday with one of the real estate platforms we're using. And I actually had set it up before, and I changed it because I'm chatting with the one of the reps with the firm, and realized that I can do this through our LLC. So I did it that way. It's always better if you can do that thing through the LLC. So that'll be one of the first ones I go over on Monday's cash flow chat. That's every Monday at 7 p.m. Again, that's going to be in a room as well. I like the fact that we can do these Facebook rooms. Everybody's on Facebook. I'm going to send out some invites for the first one and get it going that way. What you got going on today, Janet?
Well, I am in the middle of, um, I did a first set of cufflinks, started a first set of cufflinks a couple of days ago, and I'm in the middle of a second set of cufflinks. The cufflinks were my initial thing that Style with Taste started doing.
That's
And
right.
yep, and they were for you.
I
I
remember.
started making jewelry. The reason behind I start me making jewelry and was because Sam doesn't wear a lot of things, and he doesn't like heavy pieces. So I started making jewelry for him. Hey, Rashad. I started making jewelry for him specifically. And of course, that kind of just took off from there. And he's also a person who wore cufflinks like regularly. But me, you know, I just did not like what I was seeing out there. They were, in my opinion, when you
Mhm.
go into any men's store, they were just so basic. And I wanted to kind of pull Sam's personality out. And I figured the best way to do that, obviously, if you're relatively conservative, is through your accessories. And so I started making him some really cool cufflinks,
Yeah.
and of course, the cufflink game, took off that way. And but I hadn't done any cufflinks for a while. And one of my clients, I have my fair share of pastor clients, and
You got some
just
pastors and some bishops and some prophets.
yeah, and the thems. I have
Yeah.
my fair share of them, and they love cufflinks that say elder or pastor, whatever. But I had this other client who did some things, and he has contacted me and asked me to do some stuff for him and his brethren. So I've been working on those, and it's been really, really fun. I also remember when I did those cufflinks for your cufflinks and pins for your high school class reunion for
Yes.
your
I
class.
remember that.
Yeah.
I recollect.
And I still love it. I still love doing cufflinks. So that's what I'm working on.
That was one of your more detailed answers. That's one of the things I like about it. You give excellent detail. Hey, here's something real quick, guys. Janet, you probably heard it as well. Because, as we're having our coffee, I'm going through my little morning routine. But Serena Williams officially retired from tennis.
Oh,
Uh, what a awesome career um, she had.
good for her.
Yeah.
I
So,
wonder what she's going to do next.
well, she has here we go, right back into money. She has a venture investing firm. I like to
Ooh.
see that because I saw this article where it was another athlete. I think he started a management firm as well and his quote was this. That's why I tagged the article. I haven't read it yet. That his goal is to stop all these athletes with these $1 million contracts from ending up being broke. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, Serena, I didn't know her stats. So here are her stats: 73 career single titles, 23 career doubles titles, and she said, "You know what? I'm not trying to get the 24th. I'm good, dog. I'm going to focus on her investment firm, which is Serena Ventures." By the way, that is probably, guys, right now only open to. Actually, I don't know if it's even open to accredited investors, but normally they bring on some big money investors with them. They don't use all of their money. That is definitely a situation where they utilize OPM, other people's money, and it works out for everyone involved. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I think mentally though, well, we can talk about that. Mentally though, she probably was retired a few years ago. You know, just made up her mind recently, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty cool career. You know, those girls, you know, lived in um, Watts. They grew up in Watts in California.
Yeah, for where they came
Yeah.
from. Yeah, they're doing excellent. They're just doing wonderful. We also saw where, you know, it's like if you follow, it's something that you've been saying for years, right? Diversification, diversify, having several streams of income, right? We've been saying this for a long time. And you know, but then when you watch somebody like Kevin Hart, right?
Mhm.
Who,
I
you
love
know,
the trajectory Kevin Hart is on as far as not only saying, "Hey, I'm making money with these movies," but solidifying multi-generational wealth. Man, it's a beautiful sight to see.
speaking of celebrity, one of the things that I found really, really interesting is, when you talk about you look at celebrities and you think that they're making all this money, they may have a box office hit, or whatever. But what you also have to realize is like they'll do one film and then they're off to the races to do something else.
Hmm.
Taraji actually stated, that she knew that regardless of anything else, she needed to pay her son's tuition. So she worked to pay for her son's tuition. But everything that came out of, let's hypothetically say, you know, if she came home with $100,000 after the end of a movie, you half of that goes to the IRS.
Right.
Goes to the tax man. So you're left with 50, and then you have to pay all your people your own makeup, your own, you have to pay out so much money. And then you're only left with, let's just hypothetically say that you're only left with $25,000. You got tuition, your household expenses, your own livelihood that you have to pay for, out of that. And if you don't get another movie, or another gig, then it's like, we wonder how people can go into the poorhouse so quickly, celebrities. Well, that is why you always have to be chasing that money. So the fact that, these people have learned that, because now, obviously, Taraji has several streams of income. She has her name attached to, a few different things. You know, Kevin Hart,
Hmm.
has attached his name to a couple of different things. I like that he's doing his own little. It's not actually a podcast, but he's doing like some little interview
I
gigs.
like that show. Yeah,
Yeah.
Heart to Heart. What's
Mm-hmm.
it on Peacock, I believe.
Yeah, it's on something.
So yeah,
I just
well,
watch it when you're watching it. I don't know.
yeah. I like speaking since we're on this subject. I really like the Shaquille O'Neal story. You know, Shaquille got that first $1 million check, and tells the full detail. He went in and started spending money. I think he said he got gold chains, of course, and stuff like that. Went and bought him a Mercedes. Drive
Mm-hmm.
home. His dad wanted one, so he buys one. Before he knew it, I don't think it was a matter of just weeks. That money was gone, and he learned from that, man. If you want to look, not just a story for $1 million celebrities and athletes, but that's a story that anyone can learn from. And we
Right.
all know what Shaq is doing right now.
Right.
His
Right.
portfolio is very
Exactly.
well diversified, and he's killing the game out there.
Same thing happened to Will Smith. So they learned. The bottom line is that these people, they learned from those mistakes. I mean, even Steve Harvey, a lot of people of color, once they become in celebrity status, they really don't know anything about paying their taxes, and they leave that information, if they're smart enough to get somebody on their team to handle that, then it's like you just say, you take care of that. I'm concentrating. I'm focusing on my art, whatever my form of art is, my creativity side. Steve Harvey was talking about how every month he was writing the checks to the IRS. He was writing the checks and he was sending those checks to his accountant. come to find out that the accountant was not paying the bills. They were, they robbed Steve Harvey, and so, but he's the person who ended up being responsible, right? Um, and it almost ruined him. He had to start from scratch once again. The bottom line to all of that, the thing that I see in all of that is that it doesn't really matter, that you only want to do the creative side of your business. You must learn the business side of your business. You have to be able and willing to oversee the business of your business. And if you yourself aren't quote unquote equipped to do that, then you need to make absolutely sure. You need to vet people. You have to vet people, because at the end of the day, it is your gift that everybody is riding their coattails on.
That's that one fail safe that I think if a lot of these people had in place, it would have saved their money. Everything needs to get checked off by you. There's no full, hey, I'm handing it all over to you, kind of thing. When I was managing money, we could have done that, but I never set up those accounts because I was forcing these people, and these were people with money. Okay, so uh, it's not immune to certain different groups, but I was forcing them. They would want to come in and give me the full discretion, which I know I'm not going out like that, right? But if you just say, hey, okay, I know I need help with this, because managing money, when you get this money, guys, it's a full-time job. Um, and everything, and but you need to be signing off on everything. That's how you catch the people who's stealing from you, and that's how you catch the fraud. I'm not sure how
Mhm.
we got on money. I don't really like to talk about money on Coffee and Chat. So how about, can we try to segue into something else, or we keep
Sure.
this thing going?
Whatever you want to do, babe.
We keep this very organic. Yeah, we don't. I don't do. Yes, you only get
Yeah,
one
Pat.
payday. You only
Is
get one
that Pat?
payday, and that
Yeah, I can't be down for long.
we
I'm
we
over
we
here about to die, but you got to get on.
we dock your pay. We take your PTO away. We go into your 401k and dock money out of that as well.
I got to clone myself
Yeah,
just to make sure that he's covered.
and, yeah, no sick days over here. So you guys tell us, you want us to keep talking about this subject, and we can break it down a little bit more. But while we're waiting on some responses for that, we're going to talk about monkeypox.
Oh my God.
Yo, monkeypox.
Yo, monkeypox. The thing that I wonder about monkeypox is, okay, it's a viral disease, right? And I guess my question is, why are they, you know, highlighting it as something that is affecting the gay population?
I didn't do my follow up research, so I didn't really see anything other than the fact that that group is right now is the group that's mostly susceptible to it. Um, I don't know. I still have that question. So if you guys want to weigh on that, please feel free to do so.
But my question, like I said, is why? Because what we see on the news is that it's um it's passed through bodily fluids, right? Bodily fluids. So we all of us have bodily fluids.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm just like, why is it only highlighting, the gay population? And I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Um, and they were saying, about the whole, is it because of the whole, anal sex thing, or whatever. But if you think about it, there are heterosexual couples or heterosexual people also engage in that type of sexual activity. So, in my mind, it's just how they said the same thing about AIDS, like during the AIDS pandemic, that it was targeted towards, the male gay population, not the female gay population, but the male gay population, because of the same thing. But, you know, you have all kinds of people that engage in all types of things. Then you have, the people that are married, and down low. You have, like my friend was saying, heterosexual couples that engage in said activity. You have all types of things. So you can't, that's where I have a disconnect. It's just simply targeting one, you know, class of people, because that's just not that's in my mind, it's just it doesn't encompass, or trying to get nine guys to let down their guards. So you have a lot of celebrities. Now we know this. And a lot of musicians, those kinds of celebrities. Well, actors too. You have a lot of celebrities that cross all kinds of borders. I'm gonna keep this PC, that cross all types of borders. There people are doing drugs, and when you're doing drugs, you are being extremely promiscuous and just doing all kinds of things. That's the reason that I say, you can't just limit that. You can't just limit that. And then I was reading where, well, monkeypox is in the smallpox family. So now I'm curious as to how long, it's been around. It's just like COVID. We just found out about COVID, right? In 2020. Okay. But if you look at any if you look at any can of Lysol, it literally has on there where it kills COVID also, in addition to, they said the newest smallpox vaccination, like they're saying that monkeypox is like in the smallpox family. So, but it's new. I can't imagine that it's new if it's already in the smallpox family. You see what I'm saying? And also, I also was listening to the news. I don't know if it was CNN or whatever, where they were saying that if you had the smallpox vaccination, in which I know people in our generation, we had all the shots, then you were less susceptible today of getting monkeypox, because you had that vaccination when you were a child. And not only that, they're also saying that the smallpox vaccination works much better than the monkeypox vaccination. Now go figure that. Make me understand, how is that possible? What say you?
Well, here's what I just did. I'm gonna post something, guys, or everyone, I should say, that I just pulled from the CDC, and this is kind of based on the question that I have, Janet has, about, okay, why that demographic. These are grown-up words, and by the way, this is from the CDC's website. Okay, so that's the disclaimer. Hopefully, we got only grown-ups on here. Let me bring it up real quick. There we go. Just pulled that from the CDC. So now that might give me a little bit of an answer to my question of gay men community. Didn't know that. There's just the rest of that. Didn't know that.
Listen, we just gonna be wearing some hazmat suits from now on, babe.
No touching, no hugging, no nothing.
No touching, no hugging, no taking all my kisses back and everything.
Speaking from distance. Then to follow up, because I don't want to just, I'm not trying to sensationalize that or anything like that. The other symptoms are fever, chills, swollen lymph nodes, exhaustion, muscle aches and backache, headache, and respiratory systems like sore throat, nasal congestion, or cough.
Man, I just had that last week. What are you
Yeah, that
talking
was
about?
monkeypox.
I just had those symptoms last week. Now I'm scared. But I didn't have nothing popping out of my skin, though.
No.
Sounds like a different herpes to me. Oh,
Says monkeypox symptoms usually start within 3 weeks of exposure to the virus. If someone has flu-like symptoms, they will usually develop a rash 1 to 4 days later.
mm.
So yeah, okay. Sounds like it. It kind of does, right? Oh, some of us driving. Okay, so back to the CDC quote. I'll read it. People with monkeypox get a rash that may be located on or near the genitals or anus and could be on other areas like the hands, feet, chest, face, or mouth. That's what I posted from the CDC website. That person who's driving, be safe. I'm glad you said that. Don't be trying to read nothing. Just listen in. No, not texting and driving.
I listen. I would not want to be a single person out there in these streets, these days. I don't even want to be a young person out there in these streets these days because everybody is so confused and confusing. We're confused about our own daggone, what we want to be identified as.
So I knew you were going to segue into the whole, what is it called? The pronoun debate?
Yes, the whole pronoun debate.
I'm like, okay.
I'm just like, so I came across this thing on my my TikTok feed, right? Where
you got a TikTok?
Of course, Style with Taste has a TikTok. Style with Taste is all about these social media streets. Okay.
Okay. All right.
But so you had this couple, this transgender, both of them were transgender. Okay. So you had the man who identifies as a female. Well, and they did not go through the whole gender reassignment. This man looks like a female. And then you have the boyfriend or husband, whatever it is, that used to be a female, but is now identifying as a male. Okay. This couple decided that they wanted to have a child. And so the female that's identifying as the male, the couple ends up they end up getting pregnant. Okay. They got pregnant by each other. So they got pregnant. They didn't get a donor or anything like that because keep in mind, they still have their parts. But they got pregnant, and the male, who is actually a female, is carried the child. Okay. So, it's at the end of it, this whole pronoun debate. You want to identify as a particular type, but you still want the benefits of your own type. So I'm just wondering, and this is where I have the disconnect with the whole Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner debacle, right? Is that you want to be a female. You want to look like a female on the outside. You want boobs. You want all this stuff. But, women deal with a lot, just being a woman. There's so many things that women deal with that somebody who wants to identify as us will never, ever experience. Okay. The other side of the coin, you want a girl who identifies as a guy, but all of her female parts are intact. And it's like, when you die, or when you're laying on the autopsy table and they're, you know, trying to figure out what happened to you, what your body has to say, they are not going to say identified as whatever. They're going by what the what you actually are. You know, they have to. You're going by what you actually are. So, you know, I feel like this society is confused and confusing to everybody, because I don't care where you are. Everything has a male and female connection. If your light plugs, like my cell phone, in order for me to plug in my cell phone, this is a female connection. My charger, this part is the male connection that goes into the female connection to charge up my cell phone or my other devices. You know, you have the same ends. If you have two of the same ends, you don't get any kind of power. Even the animal kingdom is actually smarter than humans. Well, I want to identify as Oprah. Okay? Let me identify as Oprah. So from now on,
You want to identify as Oprah.
I'm identifying as.
That means you're gonna have some Oprah-like money, or you're just gonna be
Exactly.
identifying as Oprah without.
Since I'm identifying, but I don't know if I go to the grocery store, if I go shopping in Neiman Marcus, are they going to accept the fact that I identify as Oprah?
They're gonna call their
Give me
paddy
what
wagon.
I
They're gonna
want.
call the cops, behavioral therapists, on you. Good topic for the second half. So you know how I feel, and let's weigh in on this, guys. Let's take a quick break, and we're gonna weigh on this. They're actually calling it the gender pronoun debate. I was making that up, but who knew? Okay, we'll be right back. And we're back. The great gender debate. Yeah, that was an interesting point you just made there, JCG. I'm guys. I'm gonna be honest. It confuses me. And I'm with Rashad on it. I'm old school kind of thing. So I'm not the one, for you to get into debate with that about, because it's just confusing for me. Not and I'm not one to, because it's kind of getting into human rights and all that. I'm not one to step on your human rights and you being who you want to be, but I think the other side of the coin is uh, those people need to be cognizant of I hate to say the normal way, but the way other people think as well. In other words, I don't think it's good for that to be kind of forced on people, and I think that's where I have the biggest issue at is trying to be forced on people, which is
I agree.
kind of contrary to how they're saying they want to be treated.
Right.
Um,
I completely agree with that. Because if that's what you want to do, I could care less what you identify as in reality. I could care less about your sexual orientation. That's your life. That has nothing to do with me. But if I have my children or my grandchildren, I have a problem with you pushing your agenda off on my kids. If you want to push your agenda, go and have your own kids. You can't come into my world and push your point of view or your agenda off, on what's mine, that I created, that I pay for. I'm firm on that. I'm firm on that. And I really don't think that it's fair that if we have a difference of opinion, right? If I don't agree with what you're saying, if I don't agree, I don't agree. Then you will try to completely annihilate me and my lifestyle, because we have a difference of opinion. And I think that unfortunately, from where I'm sitting, that comes from a lot of the former administration. Because if you didn't agree with any of that, if you didn't follow through, right? If you didn't follow up with any of the Trump isms that were out there, and there were plenty, then it was like you became a pariah. And we are free thinkers. We live in a free thinking society. We're supposed to be the most intelligent species, you know, on the planet. We're supposed to be, because we are supposed to have free will. We're supposed to be able to process and think. But what I find, you know, is that a lot of people are basically more followers than just thinking for themselves. They just follow, and they don't even know. It's like a Pied Piper syndrome. You just following and you don't even know why. You don't even know why. If I ask you the question, why do you feel this way? Oh, just because. No, that's not a reason. Give me a reason. Why should I listen to you? Why should I even take what you're saying into consideration? Why? And so that's really troublesome in this with these the society that's coming up. That's very, very troublesome, to me.
This is a good point here. I mean, this is interesting here. And went to the store and was telling the cashier the guy was next, and the guy told him don't assume his gender. I mean, and they're looking like a guy. Then that's what I'm gonna call you, right? This guy, I keep how to find this guy, but he did this very well. There was a clip from what's the guy name that Oprah made famous? Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
So there was these two cats on there, full beards, and just because they had, I don't know if they had wigs or they had let the hair grow out.
Makeup on,
and the one half they got the Farrah Fawcett hairdo kind of thing going, whatever, right? And he took them out, and he said basically, so you are appropriating womanhood. He said every woman in here should be pissed off at you right now, because guess what? You can go home and take off the wig or undo your hair, take off the makeup, and go back to looking like how you were born as a guy, right? He kind of shut them down because they couldn't. The question was, well, what is a woman?
Right.
And they couldn't answer that question.
You couldn't even answer.
Right. What is a woman? What does it mean to be a woman? I think it was rational thinking people kind of knew where he was going with that, but they didn't kind of get it because they saw themselves as they identified as a woman. You're wearing that, and that womanhood, which is, I mean, women should be like in an uproar, right?
I was in a complete uproar, okay, when Bruce Jenner won Woman of the Year.
I thought it would have been more outcry. I don't know if the outcry got kind of pushed down because the media is only going to show what they want to show, but I don't think it was enough outcry about that.
I think that had they known ahead of time, that there probably would have been, because you were a woman. Yesterday you were a man. This dude has 6 children as a man.
How many count? How many?
He has 6 kids with 3 different women. That was just yesterday. And today you decided that you wanted to dress, you wanted to get you some boobs, some implants, or whatever.
What?
You put a corset on, and now and some high heels, okay, and now you're identifying as a female, and you win Woman of the Year. Make it make sense. What that says to me is that, throughout history, even in today's time, that the overall view of women is completely undervalued, that we are nothing in society. When a woman can't even be her own Woman of the Year, that it takes a man to be Woman of the Year. When you have a gazillion females who are in and powerful positions that have probably done a whole lot more, absolutely way more, for a community than a guy who decides to become a female and not even fully become a female. They changed their name.
Same thing, right? Change name, put on some makeup, put on a wig, change the way you dress.
But you still like girls. You want to be a girl, but you still consider yourself heterosexual. It's too confusing. It makes no sense. Because he's not dating. Caitlyn isn't dating men. Caitlyn is dating women.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's the same adage, right? It's that same thing, just like with the Supreme Court. You have all of these men making decisions about a woman
That still
and
blows my mind.
her body. Men are telling women about their own body. Men don't know anything about our bodies. They're men. You have a completely different setup in your system than we do. It's not just the genitalia. There's vast differences between men and women. So it's really bothersome. It's really bothersome. That women are being it's almost like going back to when we were simply property. you
Mhm.
know in medieval days, you couldn't even a woman had no rights at all. She couldn't even choose her husband, choose to marry. She was traded as property. If we're not careful, all of the history will absolutely repeat itself in all areas, even when it comes to people of color. If you're not careful, then you'll find yourself in the same lens that our ancestors found themselves in. My throat is getting scratchy. I'm talking too much.
That what it is, huh? Let me find something real quick. I got a couple of people talking about what we were talking about at the top of the show in regards to money and investing. Guys, I'm going to be doing the cash flow chat Monday. So every Monday, I'm going to jump into our own private room here on Facebook. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the things that we have been doing, some new platforms that we're bringing out. Here's one that a client of mine well, I called it a challenge. Um, uh, about investing, right, and trading. And I first had to do a whole conversation about there's a difference between investing and trading. So here's a platform I'm going to be sharing with everyone. Actually, a strategy that the platform is new because I want to do what I'm going to do with a lot of these, Janet, is start off from scratch. So they won't say, "Oh, well, Sam, you got all the money in there already," so they can see the whole thing building from a small account size and allowing them to follow along with us, right? So here's a guys, you don't see the portfolio, but here's the performance. This thing was started on June 28th. Someone asked me, this kind of stuff I'm going to be sharing, right? And it's up 9.23%. We all know the stock markets are down year to date. So that's one of the things I'm going to be sharing. I'm not going to do all of them at once. I'm going to probably do one platform, maybe two, and then you guys will have the opportunity to participate or not. From that perspective, I thought about doing a whole, monetized community and all that. I changed from that, Janet, because I think I'm moving away from doing the business as I've done it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be sharing that as well. My time is valuable, so I'm trying to set these things up so that you can do one or two things. You can go and set up your stuff, but if you want to meet with me, which I kind of feel like a lot of people are going to do, there's going to be a fee. Okay, I'm JCG. It's not going to let me do that, get away with that. So there's going to be a fee. Show it again, of course. I'll show it again. But I'm trying to, guys. There's a lot of people out here now giving access to how to grow your money, right? And all of that. And there's a lot of these e-courses. There's a lot of these people charging hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars before you even learn about what the program is. I just have never been into that, right? So I'm going to set these things up. We're going to talk about them, and I'm going to share with you. It's going to be live and full in effect, right? Every Monday on the cash flow chat on every Monday. And I'm going to show you how to set this stuff up. If you have to meet with me, that's the only time a fee comes into play. You got full disclosure. Right. A lot of y'all, kind of like that one-on-one. Some people will take it and run with it and do it on their own. You sound like looks like you want to say something, Janet.
No. So, your time is valuable. Your knowledge,
I can't.
Your knowledge is valuable.
If I have to do a setup, that has to be. I think people will understand that part of it. And who knows, later on I might even go and develop the community and it's different ways you can do it, guys.
Mm-hmm. Hey, chick, I know that's her, Sugar Woogles. Good morning, Sugar Woogles.
So we talked about a few cool things here. The great gender debate. We started off talking about a little bit about money. I'm not gonna see. I knew I should. That's why I don't like talking about the money stuff. I'm just giving you guys a glimpse of what cash flow chat is gonna be. I don't want to have our coffee.
Wait till Monday, guys. Wait till Monday.
About. Just like we're not gonna talk about virtual happy hour in detail on here either. We'll let you know about what those what's going on with those things as far as how to participate. Actually, let me drop that back up here. But we don't want that to turn into the GBS hour or the virtual hour. This is coffee chat.
Mm-hmm.
But just as a reminder, where's my banners? There we go. Every Friday we're gonna have our virtual happy hour. I'm gonna try and keep the same link, Janet. So guys, if you want to participate, please let me know, and I'll send you an invite. There's a few people that I invite. It's not a scam. This is something that Facebook offers on their platform.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of people thinking someone's trying to scam them or get them into a scamming room or whatever. Also, like I just mentioned, we're going to be doing, not sure if JCG is going to be joining me on this one, but she's more than welcome. Cash Flow Chat Mondays at 7 p.m., where I'm going to be talking about all the different portfolios and how to create some cash flow streams. I will say this, I'll share this with you guys. I'm now at the point where one of the things that I do, Janet, and we were talking about this during our morning chat, with the whole life strategy, I got clients who are using that strategy to get out of debt. So we're now starting to do some of those programs where they're pulling money out of those whole life policies to do that. And every one of them like shocked. I said, Sam, I get this all the time. I mean, serious? We can just, this is why we're doing this. We're accelerating their debt elimination program and building wealth at the same time with that private banking, if you will. Good morning, Ricky.
Good morning, Quincy.
Look at Rashad. Rashad gonna mess up and get hired.
We here at GBS appreciate your feedback and questions about financing. However, stay tuned for Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for
Put them on the
all of your
payroll.
financial inquiries.
That boy hired. That man hired. But you only get one sick day. You only get one sick day. No paid time off. No
So I
PTO.
just want to also say this, guys. We have shared this on Coffee Chat on a couple of different little platforms, right? We have it in Sam's the Benefits Solutions group. I shared it on my page, and we're sharing it. We're chatting from you from Sam's Facebook page. But what I noticed is that when we have comments that come in from the GBS page, GBS, we can't see the names for whatever reason. Like it says Facebook user up here, that's Yolanda. That's that. So if we don't acknowledge, we might show the comment, but we don't really know unless we flip over
Yeah,
to that particular site.
that's the
To that.
that's the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off there. My
That's
apologies.
okay. I just wanted to let them know,
Okay.
in case they didn't know.
Yeah, we got some late goers here coming up in here now. The second shift. The second
Mm-hmm.
shift coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Rashad. Okay, I
And
will answer this question though, Janet. The GBS portfolio, guys, is based on my strategy when I was managing $25 million as a stockbroker. I got smart with it. Okay, I had thought I was going to be trading these accounts, which I was, but it was a lot of work to trade $100,000, $500,000, $1 million accounts, even, right? What I did is I manage money managers. So what I do is go out into the investing world and I find some of the best money managers, not just them though, their strategies. So my GBS portfolio right now is actually 3 strategies in one, right? I know someone's probably thinking, what? I didn't do that. That's why I simplified it. I found a platform where if someone else wants to do this, they can do it. And that's what's going on behind the scenes, right? Uh, to answer that question I just got. Thanks, Janet.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got some more time. Let's do this real quick. We'll be right back. If I can get my mouse to act right. My mouse needs some act right juice.
Yes, indeed. You might need to change your battery.
Some of that hen. I need to do what?
Change your battery.
No, I'm using the Chingaza. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, I need to make a longer commercial for you. I need more content from you. Speaking of commercials, so I'm waiting on some products to come in. I'm waiting on my seasonings that I ordered. I thought I had ordered my hot sauces, but I need to go ahead and push that through and get that ordered. And if there's anything, you guys, as far as food, Black-owned food businesses, that's what I'm focusing on right now. Start sharing that, and I'm gonna taste test this stuff live on Coffee Chat. And hey, so I hope they come correct, JCG. It's gonna be an honest review.
Mm-hmm. So we just one of the kids is traveling internationally, right?
Internationally known.
Internationally. There she's in Paris and having a wonderful time.
Mm-hmm.
But we were looking at this travel show the other night. They were going to they were in England, and they were taking the train the super train from
Oh yeah.
England to these different places, right? So the thing that I like about Europe, although I've never been, it's one of the places that I really, really want to go.
Oh, we're
You
going.
know, part of my heritage is, some of my ancestors are Scottish descent. So I definitely want to like visit places like, Scotland and Ireland, and London is one of the places that's on my list. But what I found absolutely fascinating, when Ray, my daughter Ray, did a European tour a few years ago, I found out that all of these other countries are really a hop, skip, and a jump from one location.
Yeah.
So Sam and I were watching this travel show the other day, and the guy was in London. They took, like I said, they took that speed train from London to Paris. It took 2 hours and what? Just a little over 2 hours
15
to get
minutes. Yeah.
there.
20
And
minutes.
it only cost $130 $130 to go to Paris from London. And it's like you can go wherever it is that you want to go. You can visit all of these other countries, is what I'm saying, from one location over there for really almost nothing. I think that is so cool. And whenever we travel internationally, I already know there are a couple of spots that I want to check out. In doing that, just to ride the train. I think it's gonna be amazing to me just to ride the train. So I thought about that because the youngest is over there living her best life right now.
Man, living it up. The food pictures are off the chain. I'm over here salivating when we get the food pictures.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You're welcome. Well, I think they were thanking you, Janet.
Thanking me.
Thanks for that info. What info?
Hmm. You're welcome. I think it was you,
Me?
probably.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay, I'll answer this question as well. You guys people be listening to what we say. the the real estate platform is not delayed. I just changed I was chatting with one of the people there, and I just changed our account from an individual account to our business account. Once I found out that we can do that, it was real easy, by the way. So I'm trying to, guys, listen, we can talk about that for a little bit, right, JC?
Mhm.
LLC. It's more to just saying, hey, you're going to get the LLC. You got to set that thing up right, first of all. But it's run as much stuff as you can through your LLC. We're not going to turn this into
Right.
a business formation conversation, but that's the reason why. There's some reasons why I want to do that. So yeah, that's what it is. So I have not. That's one of the platforms you guys are going to see me build up from scratch, right? Also, the new investing platform you're going to see build up from scratch. So we're going to do this together if you participate.
Mhm.
Okay. The
Right.
training. For
I
the
I
training.
completely agree that if you are a small business owner or an entrepreneur, right, that you should absolutely, even if it's just, oh, you're welcome. Um, if you're an entrepreneur or small business owner, it it behooves you to run as much as you can through the LLC because it protects you as the individual, right? It protects you as the individual so that, people can't come after you personally and, sue you to death or whatever. The LLC protects you. In addition to, you know, setting yourself up right, building your business credit, it also gives you a way of financing, your business too. So I think that that's important, to do that. A lot of people, there's a ton of people who do that. But in addition to that, when we were talking about trademarking the other day, I found out some interesting information that I just want to pass on. Is that, if you trademark your business name, you want to trademark your business name and your logo. You don't want to trademark them together. You want to trademark them separately. And the reason for that is sometimes we just use our business name, right? Sometimes I just use Style with Taste, but then other times I use my Style with Taste logo. If you combine the two in the trademark, then it's only protected when they're used together. Okay. So what that means is that you need to, what I'm saying is that have them trademarked individually so that you can use them together or individually. So make sure that you just pay attention to those little things.
You just earned your chief operating officer. I'm gonna give you a bonus for that one. Chief
What's my
operations, the COO. I mean,
now?
technically, that's what you are on the book. So hey,
So really, what I'm trying to explain to you, Sam, is that I'm not just another pretty face. I'm smart.
already you ain't gotta explain that to me.
I'm intelligent.
I almost said something. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Nah, never mind. Someone asked a question. I guess we're gonna bleed. Well, we started, so I guess I can't say anything. Yes, on cash flow chat, I would definitely be talking about permanent life insurance strategies. Guys, here's a good Google. Hey, don't believe me. I always tell people don't believe me. Google Waka Flocka. There's people telling y'all don't do this stuff. Don't do permanent life insurance. Get your $1 million term policy and live happily ever after. Okay, you can absolutely do that. Okay, but Google Waka Flocka and see what he's doing with permanent life insurance as part of his strategy now. Actually, listen to the whole scenario because it's deep, right? And for me, I like to hear that, guy, because I've been in this game for 20. I keep saying 20. What is it, like 23 years, 24 years, almost 25 years now, and been talking this language forever. So for me, it's good to see these young cats doing it. It's good to see some celebrities doing it because maybe now y'all are listening. You don't have to have millions of dollars to do it, right? And you can do the whole scenario based on your situation. I love it. So yeah, we will be talking about that as well.
Even if it's just your name, you know, make yourself an LLC.
Which a lot of people do that. I thought
Mm-hmm.
about doing that at one time, but we already had the business going. So
Mm-hmm.
everything we do and then we will do will just fall under GBS.
Right. Because some people can't come up with a name.
Hey, that's she said right to that real quick, guys. That's how I got tricked into funding Style with Taste. Man, these women are slick, boy.
Listen, you're
Slick,
a silent partner.
I'm like, don't
You always tell people that you got tricked,
I
but
didn't catch it. I didn't catch it at first. I'm like, surely she gonna want her
let
own
me
LLC.
let me submit.
She gonna want her own
Push
LLC.
back just a little bit. Push yourself back away from the camera.
Lo and behold,
Why won't you
push
push
back
back?
from the camera.
Okay. Now, where did you get this? Where did you get that shirt?
This is a Style with Taste design.
Okay. All right. Where's your coffee mug at? Where's your coffee mug?
It's resting peacefully. I
Uh-huh.
don't use a coffee mug every day. It's a specialty item.
Uh-huh. Where's your flask?
Where is my flask? Oh, I'm gonna go get the flask. I'm gonna give you some shameless self-promotion. Not only do I have to fund the business, I gotta promote it as well.
Oh.
And I don't even get no paycheck. I do sales, I do marketing. That's the only sales job I've ever had where I don't get a But check this out, guys.
But you get all kinds of free
My flag,
merch.
my
You
personalized.
get all kinds of merch. Those are payments. Those are my colors. I don't use
Green
a
is my
flag.
favorite color. Man, ain't nothing in here. Shoot.
You have actually have more merchandise than I have, and I'm the creator.
What's that supposed to be? Listen, when these businesses do crowdfunding, right, and they have all these people, you got different levels. I'm the only level, so I get all the stuff. I'm the only crowdfunding. I'm the only crowdfunder on the level.
I'm just saying.
I crowdfunded every level.
Where's your flask, little whiskey?
There she go. That's your people.
She ready.
That's your people. But man, I like everything, but I really love this piece. I need to fill it up. I'm gonna fill it up for virtual happy hour. Don't we have to go out today? Don't you need some errands to be ran? We can stop by the ABC store. That's my excuse. I wasn't gonna go, but since we passed by there.
All right, Rashad. I'm telling you, just let me know. You know, I was so excited. So yesterday, while we were running errands, I actually ran into somebody who's going to be on the show. I called it a show. Isn't that cute? I called it a show. Somebody who's going to be on our Facebook Lives. She was actually one of my clients, and she has a small business. So what we did, I did a little bit of brand development for her and her partner, right? Well, we saw her in the store, one of the stores that we went to yesterday. And she, you know, this is the kind of feedback that I just absolutely love. She was expressing to me that they went into BJ's or Costco's, you know, one of those stores, Sam's, one of those like that. And there was a lady, I made them their business shirts. Mm-hmm. And they went into one of those big box stores. And the lady was like, "Oh my God, I love your shirt. Where did you get that from?" You know, and, you know, she passed on my name and, you know, my business and stuff like that. And so those are the moments, right? Those are some of the moments that I really, really like live for, is that personal, you know, when I showed her merchandise, it was like the expressions. I don't have a lot of opportunity to see face-to-face expressions, because most of my business, you know, I always ship them. Mm-hmm. I'm shipping in a lot of different cities, you know, in a lot of different states. So I don't actually get to see you. Girl, go sit down.
That's your people.
Stop by the liquor store. But so that, you know, having the opportunity at first glance to see you opening the package, and, you know, she was in tears when she opened her package. You know, she was completely, you know, surprised, and I just love that. And then for her to say, we went to her grand opening, and when people were asking her, you know, of course I made her a tumbler, you know, as well. I had made her own tumbler with her business logo and business colors on it. And people were asking her, "Where'd you get that from?" You know, and like she's pointing at me. And it was, you know, it makes you feel like this is what you're born to do. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So, you know, Rashad, hit me up.
Someone asked for me to show this again. When I look at it from a business perspective, I don't talk about people's prices. So you have to contact Style with Taste, Janet, if you want one of these. I don't want to mess up nobody's pricing. I'll be giving discounts and all kinds of stuff.
Bro.
I don't talk about nobody's price. There it is.
Mess me up, cuz.
Okay. So someone was inquiring.
You know, And we were speaking of this, we were talking about this as well, that, some of the challenges that small business owners face um, when they're doing their product and, with their pricing. It's people, you know, people love your work, right? They love your work. But then when you tell them what your price is, then we're oftentimes we're stutter stepping. But what you have to understand is that when you go to Neiman's, and I'm saying Neiman's, not that I shop at Neiman's, but when we're talking about scaling up and just getting things that we love, like I have several Louis Vuitton bags. It's what I like. I have several other designer bags because it's what I like and what my husband has bought me, or whatever. When we're talking about crystallizing tumblers or shoes or, things like that, that's in that quote unquote luxury brand place because it's not regular. It's a custom piece. You have thousands of crystals, hand placed crystals in your piece, and so it's very, very time consuming, right? Louis Vuitton, I mean, it's a vinyl bag. It's
It's
but
vinyl.
it's not vinyl. It's that it's almost like, ooh, it's almost like a vinyl canvas. It's one of those waterproof deals. But it's what I'm saying is that it's not even like a leather bag. It's
Hmm.
not like a leather bag. You're paying for the name brand. And we love the name brand. People who buy Gucci, you're paying for the name brand. All of that stuff is manufactured at one huge warehouse in China somewhere, just like everything else. It's manufactured at one place, but they putting a name on it. Okay. So, you pay for what you pay for. But when it comes to a small business, you're paying for the individuality of what you say you want, of what you are telling the client that you want, whether that's sewing you something, you know, um, even if that's what Sam does is customizing an insurance plan designed just for you. It's not cookie cutter. Okay. All of these things that are customizable. And so, the person, my client, the business owner was kind of sharing with me, what a lot of other small businesses, they face the same things. And at the bottom line is the bottom line. I can't go to AT&T when it's time for me to pay that cell phone bill or buy that new phone and say, y'all phones cost too much.
I mean, you can say it.
I can say it all day. You know, we have the Note Ultra 20s, right? And these things are not cheap. All of you iPhone people, you guys don't bat an eye. But every 6 months, y'all buy a new iPhone because you have to have the latest ones. You're not batting an eye over that cost. So if a person, it's what I told my client yesterday, if a person doesn't want to pay your price, I mean the price is the price, then they are not your ideal uh customer. And in saying that, I'm wondering if we have any of our entrepreneurs or small business people out there, if you're facing the same thing. How do you navigate your pricing versus what people are willing to pay? Because your time, what we all have to recognize is that the time that you put in, to creating a design for another person is extremely valuable. It's a lot of man hours. Doesn't matter what it is that you do. It's a lot of man hours. I watched Sam, one client, one client. It might take a week, copious conversations that he's having with one client, with one client. There's a lot of knowledge. They ask a ton of questions, which, I'm not hating on your questions. I'm not hating on his process. But it's a lot of those of you who have dealt with Sam, who have, asked him questions and had one-on-ones with him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's a lot of time that he puts in to be able to build something specific to your need.
So that's a question you got out there. How are
Yeah.
they dealing with their pricing? It's a good
Mm-hmm.
question. We got about roughly 15 minutes left in the show. So when we
Mm-hmm.
come back, we'll talk about that, and then we'll do a little bit of Q&A as well. How about that? I got so much work to do. Marketing our show. I keep looking at that. I need to change. I need to update that. So small business owners, how are you guys dealing with your pricing scenario? I'm paraphrasing the question Janet just put out there. If you want to comment, if not, we'll move on down the
some
road.
of the some of the groups that I'm in of people who do the same thing that I do,
Mm-hmm.
it's you have a lot of people that do this as a hobby,
True.
right? And so they, when other people are asking them that, oh, I want one, girl, you know, they might charge like a hobby price. They would be charging, and they're not making any type of profit. And so people will take that and say, well, I can go over here and get this done for this price. But, if that's not your hobby, that's your business, you have to price accordingly. I completely don't agree with a lot of people in these groups that I follow that do that, because it does make it more difficult for somebody in who's doing this for a business, and it makes it kind of common, right? So, or whatever your materials are that you're using, so um and the other question is, some people will only charge for like materials. They'll include the price of their materials in there. I would tell anybody, if you are a small business, um, if you're a small business that's doing crafts, do your best not to purchase your materials retail. You just cut yourself into a gazillion pieces that way. You need to find you a wholesaler ASAP. See, I
I'm
give.
speaking of retail. I'm so glad your inventory level is finally where you want it. That's I got that was my biggest investment expense.
It is. It is.
I'm gonna stop messing with you. But that's the biggest investment expense. And you guys also uh, consider that your inventory, guys, that's money.
Yeah.
You need to churn that, work through that inventory. That's money sitting on your shelves or whatever. So for those people, sometimes start a project or start down a road and then don't finish or whatever. But you got everything. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do because your inventory. thanks to your investor, your inventory is kind of stocked up there.
My inventory, well, I actually have been getting rid of stuff, because, like, for example, oh, before I go there,
Yeah, there you
I,
go.
I saw a special on 60 Minutes a couple of years ago talking about the very same thing. How all of these name brand designer products that we consume are made in a warehouse in China, and the laborers aren't being paid well. They have pretty much purchased the logos from top designers, put them on products, and we spend thousands of dollars on them. Why do we continue to do that, particularly when we already know that it didn't actually come from the designers themselves? The way these designers, what
Yeah, it didn't bring
that's
over. I got it here. The way the designers became top notch is by making a product, marketing it, and getting people to buy it. Yet we won't support each other and help market our own products. Why is that? And that is exactly the business model. Okay,
mm-hmm,
nothing wrong with the business model, but the key question in all of that is we won't support each other and help market our own products. Guys, I don't know if a lot of people realize it or not, but because of what my wife does, I kind of hear conversations and hear things about fashion and all of that. There is a lot. I didn't even know it. There's a lot of African American designers out there, and the kicker for me was that their quality is not is as good as better than the name brands that we're spending all the money at.
yeah.
Um, so,
Now one of the reasons that I started back sewing, right? I sewed when I learned how to sew in middle school, and I sewed when I was pregnant, and I sewed a couple of outfits for my kids once they were born, and then I just stopped. The Several years ago, over 10 years ago, what started me back sewing, falling in love with sewing again, was I ran across this girl on Instagram, and she just made it look so easy. One of the things that I hate about sewing is cutting out patterns. I hate it with a
there you go.
passion. But she made it look so easy, and for us curvy girls, it's very, very difficult to find things. You always have to alter everything to find things that will fit the small waist but also cover the hips and butt, right? That's been a challenge for most of us, like, our whole lives. But this particular person, like, she had patterns that she created herself for jeans, for people that are built like us, and this whole thing. And her name, she was actually married to, when I started following her, she was married to, if y'all remember, Girlfriends,
Mhm.
with Tracy Ellis Ross and all of them. She was married to the guy who, Jill, I think that was her character name, was engaged to, and his name is Randy Goodwin. Her name is Mimi G, right? Well, so she wasn't really known back then when I first started following her. She had more of a social media presence because she was always on Instagram. She had a blog and all this kind of stuff. Well, now, Mimi G has moved from California to Atlanta, and her and one of her business partners have opened up a fabric store in Atlanta. And people will know her now because she's been on a couple of shows. Actually, she's been on, um uh what's that runway show? She's been on a couple of episodes of the Work the Runway or something like that, whatever that TV show is.
I don't know the name.
And she's also been on, most recently she was on Housewives of Atlanta, because she by Sheree was actually in their store.
Mm.
And you're right, chick, she is a beast. I mean, she is making shoes and everything now. But no, not Tony. Not Tony. I'm talking about Tracy. Tracy Ellis Ross's character. But you're right, Gia was Tony's name. But in any case, and she has built her presence. But that's where I started learning how to sew. But when I tell you that I will not sew for other people, I will not sew for other people, right? Because it takes too long. There's that process is so encompassing. It's just flat out crazy. And I say kudos to those who do. There are a couple of people that I actually follow who are seamstresses and who actually sew for people. They make beautiful gowns, beautiful clothing, the whole 9 yards. And if you have a market for that, that's wonderful. Joan, thank you. Thank you, Rashad Joan. So, you know, um, what Mimi G does though is like she doesn't sew for people. She has these online classes. And one of the things that I really do admire about her is that simplicity McCall's people who are in this part of the world, they know that Simplicity McCall's, Vogue, Butterwick, these are brands
Did you
of
say buttermilk?
Butterwick.
Oh, I like buttermilk.
They are brands, they are sewing pattern brands, and they are called the Big Four. Mimi G is actually now kind of like she has a director position over the Big Four. Okay. But the other thing that she is doing, so she has multiple streams of income. Okay. So she has an online sewing academy. Um, she is over the Big Four, over the design segment of the Big Four. She makes her own patterns, the Mimi G patterns for Simplicity. And now she also has the Big Four has created like another stream for people, for small businesses who are designers, right? Small business designers. And it's a specific category for them. Like I said, one of the reasons that I also like Mimi G is that her current husband, like she is definitely putting her people on and maximizing. Like if you see over in this left hand corner, um the far down gorge, no, that's Poplin. But her husband, she started she taught him how to create patterns, to sew and make his own patterns. And now, he's a part of the team who is teaching men how to make men's clothing. And he's also, when it comes to the Big Four and the new thing that she's doing with the small designers, she has put him on that as well. So he is making his own living, the same way that she is the forefront person, but she is bringing her husband right along with her, and other people like that too. So but like I said, I've been following her before anybody knew who she was. So kudos to her as a small business person. Now she really has it going on now.
It's a beautiful sight.
Mm-hmm. And it's changed a lot, over the course of years. It's changed quite a bit. She's the person who, like I said, made me want to sew for myself. So she sparked that fire in me to make me want to sew things for myself.
See, a lot of good things I like here when I'm talking to some of my business clients. So here's a course, the multiple
Mm-hmm.
income streams, the partnership with her and her spouse is phenomenal. But making this so affordable, I mean, I don't know about the sewing, so I'm But $12 a month to learn how to do something like that, make clothes for yourself, is kind of, it's kind of very. I mean, if you want to do it, in other words, the barrier to entry is very, very. There's no barrier because who can afford $12 a month, right?
Right.
And the course, it looks like it's very detailed. Cancel anytime. No, no. I like it. I didn't know she was doing all of this. I know you've been
Mhm.
following her for a long time.
Yep. Yep.
So she's doing
Well, that lifestyle is pretty much her blog.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
hmm And this is I, especially I like working with creatives. Hey, I married one. I mean, because there's so many ways they can actually do just that, monetizing their creativity. The thing with creatives is something that they don't want to do. They ain't gonna do it, right, Janet?
Right. That's true. Pat says monetizing your creativity is the way to go. You know, it is. If people want, I also follow, speaking of Pat, I follow this girl who makes fedoras. And when I tell you that she is absolutely phenomenal, my interest in making hats actually came from when we went to DC to see the African American Museum,
Yeah.
the History Museum or whatever it was. And I came across, before we went all the way down to the dungeon, I came across one of the first African American hat makers.
hmm
And I was like, wow, maybe I said to myself, wow, maybe I could make some hats. And I've never made a hat. The closest that I've come to hats is blinging them. It's blinging a hat.
Thank God. 'Cause that means it's another investment.
Yeah, I don't think I want to make hats. I love hats, but I don't wear them, So, but you have to learn how to monetize, how to monetize your products, and you have to be able to get your stuff um wholesale as possible. Yeah, this is not where the girl that I follow, but there are some amazing hat makers out there. There are some amazing hat makers out there, people of color.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes to the point we were talking about earlier about you really don't need you really have the option to buy black in this area, along with a lot of other areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's happening, and I think it's happening more so now than it has been in the past. But we still need to, make some headway in that area.
And I guess part of the thing is really like where you are, because like you see this gentleman right here. See, to me, that looks so much like you. That whole vibe looks like you. And it was because of something like that that made me even want to delve into like pocket squares. But of course, Sam, that I'm only interested in making a particular type of pocket square.
Yeah,
But it's like that's for me, that's like a whole vibe right there. Yes, Rashad. Yeah, I could see you with that hat, Rashad.
sipping
Hmm.
on some yak.
Rosebud hats.
Well, let me see. We are actually, I guess it's going to be one of those days, and we're over our time. But let me see about this rosebud hat since someone mentioned them. Harriet Rosebud hats. Is that it, Janet? Do you
Let
know?
me see.
Well, I'll just, if it's not, this is looks like it's a black owned company. So, I mean, the
No, that's
photography
not
on
her.
these, that's not her.
That's not her, but she's, see, she's making church lady hats, right? And trust and believe there's absolutely a market for church lady hats. This lady, and I'll probably find it once we're off. She makes fedoras.
Okay.
And like,
What's
she
the name?
doesn't make the ones that have the divot in them at the top.
Mm-hmm.
They're more rounded or square, flat top
Okay.
with the wide brim. And that's probably what I should have said, the wide brim hats, because it has a flat top and it's a wide brim. But they are really phenomenal. They're really phenomenal.
I think, chick, that there's a certain black generations that have this. These, I mean, guys, if you're 50 and older, tap into this young generation. These millennials, some of them are doing some phenomenal work, man, across different businesses models as well. I think that's more so now with the older generations of black folk. These younger generations are collabing, they doing stuff together, and they, in order to do that right, there's got to be a certain level of trust. So I
Hmm.
think for us people who are especially or older, or the older generations that are in business, I mean, it would do you some good to kind of tap into these young folks. There's several of them in my business that I follow, and I've congratulated them on for having the conversations with their peers about these different strategies for us investing and everything. But I'm going to hold firm on it. I think it's the older black generations that still have that trust issue. These younger generations, the 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, and younger, they're not having that issue.
No,
You
no,
know,
I agree. I agree. And I think that part of the issue, what you always have to be um, careful of, is people actually stealing your intellectual property, right? So if we're not coming to the table collectively, as a collective, sharing and making our product or products, being able to merge our ideas and products together, then that's where you find a lot of issues. I think that I also feel that, like, personally, what I've personally experienced is, yeah, you're always going to find somebody who wants to copy your style, whatever. I've seen that like 1,001 times. But I think that for me personally, it's what I find and what has stopped me from really, I guess, speaking whatever my truth is at whatever particular time, is that people will try to steal your thoughts, especially on social media. So, but that's a whole other topic. This is about being able to work together. You know, I think that if you find people that you can jive with, they have a strength in a particular area, you have a strength in some area, and y'all can come together and merge your talents, and have an ironclad daggone contractual agreement, then that saves a lot of issues. If people don't want to do an agreement, some type of contractual agreement, then I would just, go on to the next.
and don't let the fact that that old stereotype of black people can work together. There's some people you just ain't going to be able to work with. That's not necessarily a bad thing, right? The important thing is that you recognize who's going to be that partner, or who can you go on in my case, go on a deal with, right? Or not, right? And listen to that, right? Because that's just, that doesn't, you know it's not just black folks who have that issue. It's, when
Right.
you look at it from that perspective, it's all about who can you really work with. And that could be any nationality, in my opinion.
Exactly. Absolutely. Because, if you say that, that's really not fair to your community, right? In saying that, because, like, over here, I see um Like what I see Sam do. Sam is constantly trying to promote somebody else's business, so he works with people. The thing that stops Sam is people stop Sam because they don't send him the information that he's asked for. you know Sam has always shared content. He's always shared ideas, you know and you know Sam has actually given away his intellectual property because
A
he's a
lot of
very
people I
smart
gave
guy.
it to didn't use it, so
They didn't use it. So there's a six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. You know, yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
that part.
someone just commented something. I wish they had put it on the thing so I could share, but
That's
in comment,
Pat.
no,
She's more of a
it's in my
visionary.
inbox.
Oh,
So I don't really, but yeah, to kind of see, I can paraphrase it. There are people that I meet. I can think of a couple of people right now that I know will kill the game with what I do. They can just plug and play. I can save them the time, but it's not. It might not be something that they want to do.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how I feel about it. To answer this question, it's all about that person identifying who they are first of all, who they want to be, secondly, and what are they going to set up as far as their monetary source, right? How are you going to make money in this world? Because we need to make money. I think once people have figured that out, whether it be create from a creative standpoint, uh, money management, insurance aid, whatever it is, underwater basket weaver, then you can go forward full steam. I saw that with you, Janet. I'll never forget the day when we thought we were going to be taking over this company, which we would have just been highly successful at it. But the powers to be had a different idea, and asked the question, what am I going to do now? And I asked you one question. What was the question? You remember?
What do you really want to do?
What do you really want to do? What is it that Janet really wants to do? I think you took, it wasn't that long, day, 2 days. You came and you showed me some things you had uh, made, and I think my memory ain't that great, guys. To the point of when at this point in my life I was doing this type of thing, I really want to do that. And I think my next question was, what do you need? Okay, no, I think I said something like, let's do it. I mean, do it. Now's the time. Right now is the time. And then my fatal question I asked is, what do you need to do that? Goodness, man, I've been spending money ever since. No, I'm just playing. But you gotta know, man, and that saves you. And because you knew that, right? Or it sparked it, relit the fire, whatever you want to describe it. You've been focused. You haven't been, oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, maybe I want to do this. Oh, let me go over here. You haven't been doing all of that. You've been in that whole little circle and advancing till you get to the point that you're at now.
I think that what what I've learned, right? There are skills that I have had in the workforce that have served me well in this arena, right? Those business concepts. I could, my business concepts are absolutely applicable to my today's to what I do today. And working in corporate, learning those things have been very, very helpful, so that when we started, the conversation is it's been very, very helpful in me learning and knowing that, first of all, I need to drill down on my pricing. I need to know exactly what my stuff costs. That's another thing that I need to highlight to people. You have to know your numbers. What is it costing you? So everybody knows that, or if you didn't know, before, my style with taste has evolved. But when it first started, I was making jewelry. Like I said, I was making jewelry for Sam, which in turn started me making jewelry for other people.
And bow ties.
And bow ties, right? Well, a string of beads, a string of beads, you would have somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 something beads on a string. and those that one string of beads might cost $5. Well, you're not going to charge whoever the person is $5 because you have to divide that cost into each bead, and then for your so that you understand what your cost is. That's the cost of that string of beads, okay? Each bead individually. Then you're building from there. You're building the product from there. So, for example, I might use, 5 or 6 different types of stones in a bracelet or a necklace. Those pricings may be different. It might be a penny, when you break it down. And so then you have to add that cost.
I have
This,
my. Oh, I'm sorry.
this is why I say that it's better for you to be able to buy wholesale rather than retail, because you get a clear understanding of your pricing.
Speaking of pricing, I have business owners who've allowed me to become, one of their trusted advisors. And one of my main jobs that I do for them is look at ways they can monetize within their own, with what they're doing right now, right? And I'm laughing because Janet's gonna laugh. Here's another confirmation of what I just advised her on, Style with Taste, because we take off our, partner and spouse and lover hats and we become business owners. And I don't know if she's going to do it, but my job was done when I said, "Hey, she has this process of pricing." I go, other people need that information. And boom, there we go. We run into somebody in the store yesterday that needs that information. There's a way to monetize that as a little course. Again, we saw what like Mimi G did with the sewing. I can't believe that price is that much. I might get back into it. I remember they
I mean,
reminded
I
me.
only have what, 4 or 5 sewing
I
machines.
got, I got a sewing machine already. Might as well use one. Uh, but I just thought about when I was in home ec. Too bad they don't have that stuff in school anymore, man. I tried to make this shirt, babe. The shirt was like you button it up, it's going like that, and one sleeve was longer. And that lady gave me a B plus. I was so impressed. I was impressed. My mom shut it down because she was a big sewer. So, boy, take that stuff back. But there we go, Janet. There's another confirmation for your pricing program that you use. A lot of people need that because they don't have it in place. And I love the fact, seriously speaking, from guys, there's nothing I wouldn't do for Janet. I'll be joking around about the investing. She knows that. But I love the fact that I'm all about the margins. This is a business and it's a product business. And she'll tell you that's the first question I ask. Okay, you're going to do this new line on whatever. What's the margin? Right.
Mhm.
And that process you use clearly locks in some really good margins. So if this was really a legitimate investment, I would be having a really good return on my investment. But I get my returns.
You do get your returns. You
Uh,
get your returns. You get yours. You get yours, cuz.
I see somebody got some time on their hands, huh? With each other, but I know someone for them is trading. That's true. Absolutely. There is definitely not a utopia, right?
Right. There's no such thing as an overnight success. I can tell you that.
And some people want it overnight for real, and it just don't happen that way. So I'm proud of you for encouraging them, and those who see their vision, and if they are really hungry for it, they're going to stick with it because there's nothing like a person who sees the vision, understands it, has mapped out the plan that they need to do to make it happen, and got all the tools they need. That they're not going to stop. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience.
I
They're
think
not
that,
going to stop.
a part of that struggle, chick, is that, you know, we're not really clear on what we say we want to do. I think that that's the biggest thing. We're not really clear on that, and then we
I'm not laughing at you, man. I'm sorry. Let me get this out of the way so we can
get
get.
it out the way.
That's look at your people. That's exactly what
Yep,
it was, though.
yep.
I
I
was
thought of the same
supporting that
thing.
shirt, man. Like, hey, look what I made. I was so proud. The teacher
I
was being
think
generous.
that,
That was actually a C minus at best.
and to highlight what I'm talking about, chick, is, you know, we'll take your son for an example. However, he got to where he is, his thought, right? He thought about being, I don't know if his thought was working out, or if his thought was creating a regimen. However, his thought process went, right, it led him to where he is right now. This boy, y'all don't know this, but my best friend,
What's his
her
site?
son is a
What's
he
the
is
name of his business? What's the name of his business?
mind over muscle, or mind and muscle, or muscle and mind, something like that. Tell me, tell us what it is, girl. um his family is not in California. Okay,
How
his
did he end
family
up
is
in
in
Cali? I
Indiana.
mean, that's a perfect place for him to be based on what he does.
Exactly. His family is in Indiana, Florida, and Virginia, the East Coast. This young man went to California relatively by himself. He had a dream, a passion, whatever it was that he had, and he is making a wonderful name for himself. He is building his own brand. So, with me not even knowing, the details of his situation, one of the things that I can say is he has perseverance, right? That's him. He was supposed to be my son-in-law, but I ain't say that out loud. They gonna kill us, chick. They gonna kill us. So he has been doing this for quite a while. And in his field, in his area, he is doing some wonderfully amazing things. I have a nephew as well that's in San Antonio, Texas, that is a personal trainer. You know, he is doing some amazing things. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes, I think that, first of all, young people or creatives, period, we have so many ideas, so many ideas. One of the first things that we need to do, because you can be overloaded by your ideas, and I want to do
Right.
this, I want to do that, I want to do the third, that you end up not doing anything, or you're hodgepodging stuff. What I would say is, I'm never gonna dissuade anybody from what their ideas, all of their 1,000 ideas are. But what I will say is delve it down. Build up the one thing first, or try the one thing first. Let's see how that works, and let that have its own legs before you delve into something else. So, when we say, when we're talking about young people not having any support in their own peer group, they're all young people. None of them have money, right? But if they have
Some
an
of them do.
idea and they really want to do it, then just like Keith went to California and figured out his path, you know, just like my nephew is, figuring out his path, just like you and I, we are still figuring out our path. Our young people will figure out their path too. I have one of my other friends, her her daughter, is kind of wayward. And you don't know, none of us really know what it's going to take for these people to get to figure their stuff out. You know, I mean, I would have thought my daughter loves anything dealing with the arts. And she has done several things in her field. But you know what she's, it's like the thing that pays the bills, the things that sustains her lifestyle. unfortunately, is not the thing that she actually loves to do. And sometimes we have to do what we have to do until we can get to the place where we do what we love to do. And then you have to really figure out how much you really love to do what you say you love to do. Because, like in my daughter's case, I mean, people who know us know, she is a phenomenal singer. That girl has, I mean, literally out the womb with this amazingly powerful voice. But there are some days when, she's like, I'm over it. I'm over it. And those days will last for years. So that's not really your passion then, is it? That's just something that I like to do and I'm very good at. I'm just saying. So, these young people, and the way that the economy going, this is the time, these are the seasons that really birth new ideas, new entrepreneurs, new millionaires, the whole 9 yards. you
Absolutely.
know the whole 9 yards. They just probably need somebody that will give them a little bit of guidance, and ask some really deliberate questions that will cause them to think. What do you think is going that you need for your business, for your idea to take off? What do you need? And then they can, if they can answer those questions, then we can move from there.
And get rid of the naysayers. You can have the negativity, but those people close to you, diss them, love them from a distance, as Janet like to say, because we know, guys, we know it's the people that are close to us because we listen to them, we value their opinion and everything. They just see us entirely different. Most of our people, guys, let's be honest, right? Most of our people in our circle, they don't see us as being successful.
Right.
Once you figure that out, hopefully the sooner the better. Your vision, your dream won't be hindered. They just don't see us as being successful. And I'm not going to get into the details of that, but that's just the way it is. Some of them will come along with you later on once all the hard work is done, and pat you on the back and say, I knew you could do it, Sam. I knew you had it in you," right?
Mm-hmm.
But we need to break away from that because our people, our family, that they're probably not our ideal client anyway, right? I can count on two or
Unfortunately,
three fingers the amount of family members from both sides that I actually have as clients. It ain't that many.
it's not that many.
It
No, it's
ain't.
not that many. And when they do come on board, they want to try to get a family discount.
But man, I can't discount no insurance. What, you crazy? Yeah, Dexter. That's one of my favorite books. I that was actually used to be on my list of one of the books I would read every year. A lot of good things I learned from that book. Oh, here we go. A little bit of background on nephew. Your schooling get 6 certifications. That explains all the knowledge he has in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he ended in Cali. He found a school in Cali. All of the courses I received, all 6 certificates. Man, see that? That's that vision we were just talking about. That's
Okay.
that drive, and that's
Uh-huh.
that
My
taking
baby went
massive
broke,
action.
slept in his car, etc. But the key word is he didn't give up.
I gotta
He
have him
did
on.
he did this. He believed in his vision and he didn't give up. And just like Steve Harvey and a lot of other, struggling people, he slept in his car because he knew whatever that fire was that burned in him, he knew that's what he wanted to do.
There goes Dexter. Dexter always drops some golden nuggets, man. I like that one too, especially that last part. That's how you treat the negative people, man. Treat them as a log on the fire to stoke up the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind, don't put yourself in a I'm going to show them kind of mindset. That gets a little bit dangerous. That can take a lot of people off their game. But
Right. Because your only competition is yourself.
you,
The only person you need to prove anything to is
it's
you.
you,
And listen,
and
watch shows like The Prophet and Shark Tank. You know, let me tell you something. This little 14-year-old kid, he wasn't even 14 at the time, he was like 12, was making bow ties. He decided he wanted to make bow ties. And his mother helped him make and create this company. At 12 years old, he became the owner of a company called Moe's Bows.
Moe's Bows.
Moe's Bows.
I think Damon John invested in him, right?
He went on Shark Tank, and Damon John invested in that little kid. And I went looking for him not too long ago, for his website and all that kind of stuff to see what he's doing now. He's a young man now, and he still has his business. Damon John was selling stuff. Yep. Damon John was selling. He started off, selling stuff out of his car or wherever, making stuff.
Right. Making it in his home. His mom was doing the books for him, I think.
So, when we really want to do something, I think with young people, the first thing you need to figure out is, what do you want to do? What is it that you want to do? My niece, one of my nieces, she was selling jewelry, paparazzi. Okay.
Paparazzi.
And, now she knew that I made jewelry, but I stopped making jewelry some time ago. She started selling paparazzi, which fueled a fire into her to start making pieces of her own. And when she made a decision to start making pieces, she started off with waist beads, right? Something, I guess, simple, that wasn't too time consuming. When she told me that she wanted to do waist beads, I just opened up my little stash to her of those size beads that I had, and was like, if you want these, because I'm no longer using them, right? And that is me investing in her business. I don't wear waist beads, but a lot of young people do. It's like a trend that stopped, and it was only in certain, island communities or, stuff like that. But now it's a trend that has another uptick. But she went from there, and now she's doing, she's making other small things. You have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. My daughter wants to open up a lingerie shop, and which is fine. That's fine, right? But she wants me to make the lingerie.
That's what the holdup is, but that ain't gonna happen.
No.
Well, what you think? Are we at that time?
What did Rhonda say?
Let me see what Rhonda's saying.
She would have hindered her son.
Soliloquies on here, man.
You see that? Because she didn't want him to go to California. She had never been away from her kids and didn't want him that far away. She cried and told him not to go. And when he slept in the car and never told her afterwards, because he knew that she would want him to bring his butt home. And I feel that totally and completely, because if anybody dare thinks that I want Ray Andrea in Florida all by herself, that is the absolute negative.
I thought you were going to say something else. Yeah, man. That's I want to get him on. We got to make that work with the time difference, though. Rashad dropping the golden nugget. I guess. We got more time, Janet, or?
Listen, I'm here for you.
Yeah, because you got to make up for that time you were off.
Let me lubricate my throat.
Oh, your buddy gonna say something about that one.
I know she is.
I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys. It's been another great coffee chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks for the comments, the participation.
Yes. I enjoyed this last talk. turning your vision into a realities.
Yeah,
Struggles.
a lot of good nuggets. A lot of good nuggets. So we'll be back here on Friday for Coffee Chat. And also, don't forget that Friday is also virtual happy hour. I wish I had an echo machine. Virtual happy hour. And I'll be dropping the link and inviting people to that as well. Any last words, Janet? Let me stop this.
No, you already put the music on me, so I'm just shutting up.
I just felt like hearing it, actually. People ain't saying nothing. Yeah, you set herself up for that one, Chicken Wick. I'm surprised you're not. I'm sure you're going to end private message her on that one. That's that virtual happy hour conversation. But yeah, we got to go. I got about 8 applications I got to do today, so I'm gonna have to take me a nap.
Yeah, and I got to work on my cufflinks.
An old man nap, and those appointments are back to back to back. And I'm setting up some investment accounts. So anyway, guys, again, thanks for all the love. Thanks for that, Rashad. We love you too, my man.
We love y'all too.
Seriously, gotta that's a couple of things. Here I go starting a whole nother conversation. We need to talk about a couple of things. Maybe bringing somebody like Rashad on, and I got my idea. I think we need a virtual assistant. I got somebody in line for that as well. But anyway, guys, we're out of here. Let me cue the music so I won't start a whole nother conversation. We're out of here, and again, don't forget about CoffeeChat on Friday at 8:30 a.m. Virtual happy hour at 7 p.m. Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.